plus one fairly obvious rhetorical question. Was her husband really that clueless?
Good thing I didn't pick one up when I was at Sears yesterday, then,
Jack said with a laugh. It was a sarcastic laugh, the one she heard and immediately translated into, "God, you're an impossible bitch," in her head.
So really, you don't want anything?
I want lots of things, Jack. I want a cashmere bathrobe and a spa weekend and cozy new Ugg boots, not the cheap Costco knockoffs you insist are exactly the same. I want you to notice that my iPad screen is cracked and surprise me by getting it fixed. I want a mother's necklace like Lizzie has with the initials of each of my children stamped on simple discs hanging from a delicate gold chain. I want tickets to the symphony or the ballet or a comedy club, not a hockey game, because after 20 years, you should know that I can't stand hockey. I want you to remember when and where we saw that mother-of-pearl watch I've never forgotten, 2 summers ago at Tiffany in New York, and then hunt it down, used on eBay, if you have to, because they don't make it anymore, and buy it. I want you to blow me away with something special, something meaningful or decadent or both, possibly something diamond-studded. I want you to give me a second thought. I can't think of anything I need, Charlotte said.
I guess that's settled then, Jack said. Julie, could you pass me the OJ?
The Crawford girls' shared birthday fell on a Saturday this year, and Charlotte made reservations at Benihana. Dinner's at 8:30 tonight, she reminded Jack as she cleaned up after lunch.
Why so late?
He wanted to know. I thought we could walk around downtown for a bit first, maybe grab a drink or do some window shopping, she said. The only thing that had surprised Charlotte when Jack came through with her request for absolutely nothing for her birthday was the fact that she was surprised. It would be just like Jack to take that statement literally, but at the very least he'd get her a card and some flowers, wouldn't he? But he hadn't. He'd whispered, "Happy birthday, honey," before she even opened her eyes. So she knew he hadn't forgotten. The truth was, she'd originally made the reservation for 7 o'clock, which was when they always ate, but she'd called an hour ago and changed the time. She wanted to give her husband one last chance to see her admiring this trinket or that, and then buy it for her. When Charlotte shuffled everyone out of the house at 7, Jack was already grumbling.
An hour to window shop? Can I just find a sports bar somewhere and meet you guys when it's time to eat?
Charlotte had ignored his question and driven straight to her favorite store, Looks. Everything here was handmade or one of a kind and unlike anything you'd find at the mall. Charlotte could spend hours at a stretch combing the crowded shelves. Surely Jack would find something worth buying for her. "How adorable is this?" she asked Jack, holding up a tiny porcelain kitten heel shoe.
"What is it?"
Jack asked. "It's a shoe."
"Even I can see that," Jack said. "But what are you supposed to do with it?"
"You don't do anything with it, Jack. You just display it and admire it. It's art." Jack looked at her blankly.
"Women are nuts," he said finally.
"Because we like to admire and enjoy pretty things. Isn't that what men are famous for?" Charlotte goaded. Jack walked away shaking his head. Charlotte took a deep breath. This was not the way she wanted the evening to go. She followed him to the front of the store, where he was leaning against a glass display case, looking patently bored. Charlotte looked around the store. She knew that to her husband, the best gift was something you could use, something with a purpose. When Jilly and Jackson were little, he'd take them to the toy store on their birthdays and let them each pick out their own gift from him.
"It can't be something like a stuffed animal," he'd insist, to Jilly's deep dismay. "It has to be something you can do something with, like a ball or a game."
Charlotte had refused to tag along on these trips on principle. In her mind, a great gift was something the recipient wanted, not something you wanted to give them or thought they should have. Besides, stuffed animals engaged the mind and encouraged creative play. They were comforting and provided sensory stimulation, and most of all,